Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue sur Mao Live, votre radio parisienne qui vous fait découvrir ou redécouvrir des artistes locaux et internationaux. Aujourd'hui, on est avec la DJ Aalice. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming. So, you were born in Belfast, but you live between Manchester and Lisbon.
Yes.
How does this street city influence your music?
So growing up in Belfast was the beginning of kind of my electronic music journey. I used to work in a club called Shine, which is very famous, and that was where I kind of started to go out and see DJs and be introduced to things. That was very much my baptism of fire, and I guess actually ironically it was all Busy P and Mighty and everything that was my first kind of loves, and when I got the Daft Punk album, so that was the start of it. And then when I moved to Manchester, I was there for 13 years, although I'm still going between, and that was where I met Splash and Aalice, who I run Meat Free with now. So that was the real kind of, I guess, maturity period, and then being more involved in the scene. It's also where I learned how to DJ and kind of started. And then in terms of Lisbon, I've only been there for 7 months, but it's been really amazing to see a completely different kind of scene, and meet more DJs and see what the local people, because I think what's actually most interesting about the music scenes are the people that you meet, the residents, the locals, who are making music that maybe are not on the bigger platforms. And then once you meet them, you kind of exposed to all this new stuff. So it's really amazing. And I think actually Portugal has got a great scene. I mean, obviously, collectives like the Hayes Collective and things like that, but even more on the underground. And I've been exposed to some really amazing producers so far. So I think you can just take something from everywhere you go.
Yeah. What's the thing you love about the Manchester and the Lisbon techno scene?
Manchester, I guess, feels very much like home ground to me. We have some amazing clubs. Obviously the weather is not great in Manchester, so we've got a lot of really cool kind of grimy sort of warehouse, places like that. So it's got a little bit more of a kind of a gritty undertone, I guess. And because it's not such a big city, there's actually a very quite close knit community. So it feels like a really nice, productive and energetic place to be. And then with the Portugal scene, obviously the clubs are bigger and brighter and we can party outside. But yeah, I think actually in both cities, what was the thing that really stuck out is actually how welcoming and friendly the scenes have been in both places. So yeah, I mean, music obviously does open doors and helps you to make friends easier. But yeah, I think they're both equally as welcoming, although obviously the sound is a bit different.
What's your favorite club in Manchester?
The White Hotel, probably. Okay. Yeah, it's the one that everyone loves, and yeah, we've been lucky enough to be able to do parties there, and I've played there quite a few times, and yeah, there's just something very special about it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for those people who don't know you, how would you describe your sounds?
I think I'm probably, everyone says it, quite eclectic. I grew up kind of living, fidget house and French electro and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously the deeper, darker, more kind of melodic and sort of grittier techno sounds that I guess Meat Free was known for. And then we have a lot of we've quite an expansive booking, so we do have a lot of the kind of the groovier sounding stuff and the more kind of deeper stuff. And then I also really love garage and things like that. So I guess my sets always feel, I'm not sure if you could say, oh, that's what Aalice sounds like, because I think I don't even know. It's very much what mood I'm in, or if I want to just put a little curveball in. But yeah, I guess I've been really lucky to be exposed to all these different little factions and be able to kind of bring that all together.
Nice. So how did the Meat Free collective come about?
So, I mean, it's a long story and a long time ago, but well, the short story is that Steffi, who's Aalice of Splash and Aalice, we just bumped into each other in a club randomly and started chatting, and we were both moving to Manchester that month. So that's really how it began. It started, and then we were in another promoter crew with quite a lot of people, and as you can imagine, when it's too many people, it just doesn't work. So after that sort of disbanded, myself and Steffi and Blasha and a few other girls actually at the time just decided that we would give it a go and see if we could do it any better. And yeah, we're still going now. So it's just the three of us now. Obviously, as time has gone on, you know, our latest kind of Lucy, she left when she had a baby and things like that. So these things happen. But yeah, the three of us are still holding on.
What do you want to put forward with that project?
With Meat Free, I mean, initially it began as a project to make techno more friendly, because at the time it was very, very male orientated, and it could feel a little oppressive or maybe a little bit snobby. So it was very much just to kind of try and open doors. And then now we actually just be very lucky because we have been able to build such a great, it's an overused word, but community in Manchester, and being able to bring some of like the biggest names, you know, in techno to like a very small pub, you know, that kind of trying to be surprising, and we're always trying to find new venues and kind of just push something new. So I guess it's to keep that kind of close community, really push for safer spaces, try and be like good voices in the industry, but also just to have like a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it's nice to have fun.
Yeah, that's the
more
point.
important.
Yeah. But sometimes I think it can be forgotten in the music industry, you know, especially techno can take itself a little bit too seriously sometimes. So as long as you're still a professional and doing things in the right way, you know, the fun is actually the most important part.
And do you have some project with this collective for 2026?
So our next big party is actually going to be our biggest yet. It's on Easter weekend, and it's going to be in a warehouse in Manchester called Concept House, which is going to be like 1,000 people, and before we were probably around half that. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. We've got like Benson's, Akua, UFO 95, Rodhad, Load, and then Steffi and Tash and I. So yeah, big lineup.
Yeah, nice. You'll also be on the project Under One Roof.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that project?
Yes, so Under One Roof is a rave that's designed to be welcoming, especially to adults with disabilities. And it was started out of again, that desire to make rave spaces more friendly and open, just as simple as that. And after we'd done Meat Free for a few years, I started that project, and it just took off as well. And it's like it's so fun to do. It's like amazing because you get to meet people that, unfortunately, even if it's not a physical, you know, accessibility issue, they may not feel comfortable in normal club environments, or they just have never felt like it was a space for them. But yet, obviously, they're just people like you and us who love music. And what's been the best thing about it actually is that over the past couple of years, I'm now seeing more and more DJs with disabilities like coming forward as well. So it's not just about like getting more people on the dance floor, it's actually about getting more people in the booth as well.
Yeah, who feel good.
Yeah.
And what are the challenges you faces when you try to make a club really accessible for those people?
Well, I think obviously a lot of clubs are in old spaces, warehouses, you know, etc. And they just weren't designed with lifts or ramps or accessible toilets and things like that. But also clubs can just often be, by their very nature, quite dark and closed off, and that's what we want, because we want to escape the world and get away from things. But that also can feel like a bit of a closed door if you don't feel like the door is open for you. So I think it's one thing in terms of making a space like readily available and user friendly, but also it's about the mood and the vibe and helping people to know that they can feel welcome there, and training staff in different ways to understand that people may present themselves differently or whatever it may be. So yeah, it is a tricky one, but hopefully getting there, chipping away.
Yeah, that's important. And do you feel like the industry are making progress on these issues, or not yet? Not enough?
Honestly, no. I would have to say no. I think the music industry, obviously at the moment, there's quite a big Me Too movement, and it feels like we've taken a lot of steps back in terms of gender equality and things like that. So yeah, when it comes to something like accessibility, or, you know, obviously there are DJs with disabilities out there, but I don't think we're, as an industry wide, doing much to kind of encourage people or to try and level those playing fields as much as we should be anyway. So I think that's something that we definitely have to work on, but yeah, who knows? Yeah, not a very positive way to put it, but it's the truth.
Yeah, and what type of advice would you give to DJs who are too serious and like for having more fun, like for the DJ, the promoters?
I mean, well, lighten up. But I think actually in one way, the more serious professional that you are on one side, so if you get all the organisation right and you really work hard, which at Meat Free we do put a lot of effort in to make sure the DJ is comfortable, everything's good with logistics, all those kind of things. So actually being really serious on this side means that everything can go smoother on the night and everyone's kind of having more fun. So in one way, in order to be less serious, take it more seriously here and then you can enjoy it. Yeah, but I think as well, it's just about making sure that, you know, egos are kind of not really part of it. Being just friendly and human to people and treating everyone equally seems like such a basic thing, but actually it seems like we need to do more of it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with all those beautiful experiences, how your music changed and evolved since you started to DJing?
I can mix now, for one. No, I think, you know, as I said before, you know, when you move around and you're exposed to different things, you're just so lucky that if you kind of let yourself be open to it, you can soak up different things and you hear someone weaving in some garage or drum and bass into something and you're like, oh yeah, wow, that's really opened my eyes, or, you know, just hearing different styles of mixing and things like that. But I also think it's about being really open to, like, make sure you just listen to other types of music as well. And actually, I think, as I sort of touched on before, I think probably some of the best tracks I've got on my USB at the moment are people who are friends and they just, you know, they want to send you their stuff, and actually, like, you're getting such incredible music from people that you're seeing all the time. It doesn't always have to be like the top DJ or producer or whatever. So yeah, I think again it's always just about being open and flexible and yeah, letting yourself drink it all in.
Do you have like maybe some influence that you like at the moment to recommend to us?
In terms of producers, well, again, so in terms of Manchester, there's some really amazing music coming out of there. Cabay and Habgood are kind of consistently putting out some really good stuff. A. Morgan, always consistent. Yant, really, really good. Also, Aoife has just brought out a track. She's an Irish DJ, producer, track called Ex-Wife Material, which is just premiered today, I believe. And then in terms of over in Portugal, I mean, I don't think I need to shout out the Hayes Collective, but, you know, I really respect what they're doing. Brushka as well, I've heard some of her stuff, it's amazing. Jester, this is THX. Yeah, just the list goes on, which is actually amazing, yeah.
And is there still maybe genre or things you want to experience, like for this year or on the future?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just more of Portugal and understanding that scene and like getting more into that. I played there a few weeks ago for the first time in a club, so that was really cool. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of explore, and then always just to see what Manchester does next is always exciting.
And to finish, do you have a little word for the Parisian scene, the Parisian crowd who are listening to you right now?
Well, I mean, I hope you like what you're going to listen to, and thank you for creating the music that actually brought me into the electronic music scene in the first place. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.